Most of you, a situation similar to this likely occurred at some point while you were making the decision about when to retire. You were sitting in your car somewhere at one point. You were probably waiting. We do a lot of waiting in our cars in Cedar Rapids. You were waiting for a train, or you were waiting in a construction zone, or you were waiting for baby geese or ducks to cross the road, or you were waiting for construction zones, because there are so many. And you got to wondering, and you got to remembering how, as a child, time moved so slowly. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? How many sleeps until Christmas? Bedtimes always came quickly, but the rest of it just took so darn long. Getting through school yourself, waiting for the day that you were old enough to get that driver's license, and ordering an adult beverage legally. We all couldn't wait to grow up and get on with our life. And then it actually happened, and that's when things began to change. It probably started in your 20s when you noticed that your friends were all getting married, and then it was in your 30s that you had the real wake up. Because now you're a young old person and you could see 40 coming like a train. And when 40 hit, it might have been a little too much for some of you until it was 45 and then 50, right? So then it didn't seem like so much anymore. Sometimes they call it a midlife crisis, maybe 40, maybe 50, maybe never. But whenever you feel it, you realize that youth has kind of walked out the door a while ago. And then you buy yourself a motorcycle. Or you dye your hair another color to buy yourself some more time. But tick tock, you can feel time passing. And then you're here and you're retired or you're getting ready to retire. And then, well, by that time the train has crossed the tracks and you're back on the road, so you forget to consider the rest of your conversation and you stop wondering and remembering. But now you're realizing it, and hey, what's ahead looks pretty darn nice, because heck, there's nothing left to learn the hard way at this point. And there are senior discounts everywhere you go. And you will never, ever again get an early morning wake-up call announcing a snow day. Not one. That deserves its own round of applause. No one's going to call you. It also allows you the freedom to decide what you want to do and when you want to do it. That's just bliss. And knowing that is certainly something to celebrate. And so we're also very happy to be able to join you today in that celebration that's all about you. And to begin, we're going to have our lunch and just enjoy time visiting with those at our table. And nobody's going to rush you out or serve it in little compartments in a tray. So enjoy your lunch, and we'll then get back to our speakers. Have fun.
Hello again. I love how chatty you are as you visit. But it's now my privilege to introduce the superintendent. So we're gonna quiet down. Here they go. So it's my pleasure to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Brad Buck. Dr. Buck was born in Cedar Rapids and he grew up here. I have to do your introduction. Graduating from Jefferson High School, and you attended Van Buren, so he's a treasure. He began his career in education as a classroom teacher and then held administration roles in various districts. And as we know, in 2013, Governor Branstad appointed him as director of the Department of Education, but he saw the light and came and joined us last July as superintendent. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Brad Buck.
Well, good afternoon. I have one of my life rules is don't follow show choirs or Dr. Plegman on stage, so I'm getting half of that here today. It's a privilege to be here, and in preparing my comments for today, I was looking for some inspiration that would honor the years of service that have been given to our students by the people in this room. After all, this group of retirees has collectively served the Cedar Rapids Community School District for 1,916 years. Applause, right? We have to work with applause. So since I'm the new guy, I naturally first watched videos from a previous year's event, and then I read some notes from a previous superintendent's speech. Those were helpful, but I was still seeking inspiration. So I did the next natural thing. I Googled inspirational quotes for retirees. Quite an assortment. Some were funny, others were serious, and still others were poignant. A few that struck me as worth sharing were these. Retirement, a time to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, where you want to do it, and how you want to do it. Another one, retire from work, but not from life. Still another, retirement is wonderful. It's doing nothing without worrying about getting caught at it. which made me think I'd accidentally Googled inspiring quotes for superintendents. Yeah, no, it's okay. I can own it. And then a final one that I thought especially appreciated. I'm so busy since I've retired, I may have to go back to work to get some rest. So those are nice, and they certainly make others of us wishful that we could join in this retirement with you, but I was still seeking additional inspiration, so this time I Googled funny retirement quotes. Oh boy. I think of myself as having a reasonable sense of humor, and people have told me as much at times, but I have to tell you, the majority of items I found for retirement listed under funny seemed like funny and mean retirement quotes. Even so, the middle school kid in me, I oftentimes joke I got older in Cedar Rapids, but I didn't actually grow up. The middle school kid that still lives in me can't pass up the chance to share one of those that I found. When you see some people work, you wonder what they're going to do in retirement. Ouch, right? Ouch a little bit. So at that point, I sat back in my chair and thought about my own eventual retirement. That got me thinking about basketball. You see, I'm easily distracted by thoughts of basketball, but in this case, I actually did connect my distraction to the topic at hand. You see, I love to play basketball, but now I tell people that I have fewer games left in me than I've played. The reality is likely the same for the years of work for me. So that led me to think about what would I like said to me were I retiring today. And then inspiration struck. It became clear in a simple and powerful way. Thank you. Thank you for serving thousands of meals to our students to help get them through each school day and be ready to learn. Thank you for safely delivering our most precious cargo to and from school each day. The bus drivers are the first and last faces of the organization for thousands of our students every day. Thank you for listening to our students, for being kind to them, and for helping them along the path from little children to young adults. Thank you for being employees who are committed to what is admittedly an imperfect organization, but also a crazy important enterprise. Thank you for bettering our community by teaching, leading, and serving our students and their families. Thank you for the relationships you formed with your coworkers. I know that job sites are more thoughtful and engaging places for everyone to be when the employees really get to know about and care for one another. My guess is you are thinking about some of the colleagues that you will miss being around in ways that you currently do. Oh, and you're probably thinking of a few you're not too sad to have a little less frequency of interaction with. I'm trying to say that. Anyway, thank you for providing clean learning spaces for students, staff members, and the community. Thank you. My inspiration to know what to share was right in front of me all along. I'm pleased to have this opportunity to share my thanks with you. Speaking for all of our stakeholders, please know your service is appreciated and it has made a difference. I also offer my sincere best wishes as you enter into this next new and hopefully exciting phase of your life journey. And if you're ever looking for a basketball game, you know where to find me.
Thank you, Dr. Buck. Now I have the pleasure of introducing Karen Swanson. Karen is in her 5th year as Executive Director of the Cedar Rapids Community Schools Foundation. She is also an alum of the district, and she puts Coolidge, Taft, Jefferson, so Jefferson's in there again, earned a Bachelor of Music degree from Baylor University and began her development career in 1990 with the Cedar Rapids Symphony. She is past president of the Junior League of Cedar Rapids and volunteers at Bethany Lutheran Church and with the Arthur Elementary School PTA. Please welcome Karen Swanson.
Thank you again. My name is Karen Swanson, and I am the Executive Director of the Cedar Rapids Community Schools Foundation. And on behalf of our 15-member Board of Trustees, I, like Dr. Buck, simply say thank you. And I also say congratulations. May the years ahead bring you just a little bit of the joy that you have brought to our 16,000 students. We cannot be more appreciative. For those of you who may not know much about the Cedar Rapids Community Schools Foundation, we were founded in 1984. We are a completely separate entity from the district, but we do have an office in the ELSC please stop by and come see me sometime. The foundation is governed by a 15-member, all-volunteer Board of Trustees. Our mission is to provide financial support to and promote and recognize excellence in the Cedar Rapids Public Schools. Operations and programs are funded by donors, be they businesses, individuals, corporate sponsors, or grants from foundations. We do not receive any public sector funding of any kind. The foundation supports the following programs, which I hope many of you might have had an opportunity to participate in during your tenure. We provide 35 senior scholarships each year to graduates of all varying post-secondary interests. We provide funds for students to participate in extracurricular activities who may not otherwise be able to do so because of financial constraints. That program is one of our most popular and is called SAFE, which stands for Sports, Academics, Fine Arts, and Enrichment. The Kids in the Community Field Trip Program, in partnership with Hills Bank and Trust, earmarks $15,000 annually for curriculum-based field trips that send our students out into the corridor for experiential learning. Student enrichment grants reimburse teachers up to $250 for money that they have spent out of their own pocket to make their classrooms seem a little bit more inviting, or maybe to provide that extra for a kid that didn't have what they needed on the first day of school. A generous anonymous donor provides $25,000 each year to underwrite this much needed program. We just last night awarded $2,300 in professional development grants for educators to attend a workshop, a conference, begin their graduate school studies, or perhaps recertify. The foundation understands that without our educators, where would our students be? So we make money available to educators who want to augment or pursue their own education. This time of year, we are also in all 31 schools to recognize and provide financial assistance towards the district's staff recognition program. Trustees attend each in-school program and honor all staff, be it an educator, bus driver, administrator, lunchroom personnel, custodial staff, or secretaries. We recognize all of you. I am about to write a check for $60,000 to fund the school project grants program. This program is a partnership with the Giacoletto Foundation with an emphasis on STEM projects in our schools that require capital funding that the district line item cannot support. We're beginning our second year of funding in partnership with Pearson, the summer literacy program, which will be focusing this year on bringing our third grade readers up to grade level. Trustees, like all of you, have seen the data about summer reading loss, so funds are now being earmarked and provided to keep several of our elementary school libraries open all summer long. And finally, we are into year 4 of the district alumni program. So if you ever have questions about a student that really touched you, maybe that little girl that you saw on the bus for 12 years, come see me. We are actively stewarding our alumni via e-newsletters, and we now serve as the repository for all alumni information in the district. Many people wonder about the annual budget of the foundation. It is nearly $300,000. And of that amount, I am proud to say that more than 80% is invested right back into the projects and programs of the district. Our asset base is growing. At last month's trustees meeting, the foundation had a financial report showing we hold more than $800,000 of invested assets. And part of this strong financial position is due to each of your individual generosity through the staff payroll deduction program. I know many of you who are retiring have participated over the years in the staff payroll deduction program, faithfully providing support for the foundation through every single paycheck. Whether it was $1 a paycheck or $100 per paycheck, it all added up to thousands of dollars a year, making you, district staff, the third largest donor to the foundation every year. I think that's amazing. In closing, let me thank you again for your service, for your contributions to the lives of our little students. There's a plaque in my office that reminds me to find joy in the journey, because that's a struggle for me. But I want to say thank you for the journey that you gave our students. My blessing to you as you embark on this new journey. We wish you much joy.
Thank you, Karen. I'd now like to take an opportunity to introduce our board members who are here. As before you have to go, there you go. We have three that were able to join us today. Director Westerkamp, Keith Westerkamp, Director Raphael Jacobo, and President of our board, John Laverty. Oh, I timed that so right. Have a nice weekend, gentlemen. It's now my pleasure to introduce Tanya Johnson. Tanya is also an alum of the Cedar Rapids Community School District. She taught kindergarten for 20 years at Jackson Elementary and Coolidge Elementary Schools, and then she moved into a teacher leadership role for the district. She was also Iowa's 2013 Teacher of the Year, and she currently serves as the president of the Cedar Rapids Education Association. She also sees the district through the eyes of a parent, with a student at Taft and at Kennedy. Please join me in welcoming Tanya Johnson.
So I am noticing a bit of I don't know what it is. There's Jefferson grads. I'm also a Jefferson grad. There's something going on there. Yeah. Class of 85 and class of 84 were trouble, I'm guessing. So, and I also was a Van Buren Charger and a Taft Tiger. So there really is something going on here. What I want to say to all of you today, not just the teachers, but everyone retiring, I want to say that you are hopefully not done with us. I want to say that I myself will be calling on some of you in my job as resolution team facilitator. I am always looking for retired teachers to come back and to help mentor. And so I know that Marcia is always looking for volunteers. So we hope that when you are gone or when you leave and you retire and say goodbye to your classroom and goodbye to your students and goodbye to your colleagues, that you are definitely not saying goodbye to Cedar Rapids School District. And I know that Karen and Dr. Buck would also agree that this is a community of people who come back to be a part of it. And I am very, very fortunate to have my own children come through the Cedar Rapids School District, and just being able to come back to a place where I grew up and have those memories of schools. And sometimes when I walk in my new job, and the first thing I think of is, oh my, I remember going to gym class with Mr. Garwood in this classroom. And then I have to kind of quick come back to why I'm really there. But I want to tell you that you have made a huge difference in everyone's lives that you've touched. You've made a difference in the students that you've touched. You've made a difference in the colleagues that you've worked with, and definitely with the parents that you've worked with as well. So please remember that as you leave. There will be happy thoughts and there will be sad thoughts, and there will be thoughts that you never want to remember. But that's okay. That's okay. Hopefully the happy ones will stay there. But we do want to be sure that you know that you are always, always welcome back as a volunteer, as a voter. There are so many ways that you can continue to support our students in Cedar Rapids. So thank you for all you've done, and enjoy your retirement so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. And now I get to introduce one of the last people that I ever gave a retirement card to, because as Tanya said, so many of you come back. You retire. I wish you well. I turn around, you're standing behind me doing something, which is so fabulous. So I love so many of you, and you know that I'll be celebrating with you, but I don't give cards anymore because you never leave. When you really are done, then you get a card. So you're going to know, Tracy, I'm serious. You're going to come back and volunteer. So now I get to introduce Cindy Monroe, my very good friend Cindy. Cindy retired from the district 13 years ago, the last time I gave someone a card, after spending 30 years in the district as a teacher, a counselor, desegregation facilitator, and principal. She tells me that she knew it was the right decision for her after the first weeknight that she stayed up all night reading a mystery novel. That's how she was sure. She's an active community volunteer and a proud advocate of education and of retirees. She joins us today to tell you about an opportunity to join her in a very special and highly inclusive group. Please welcome Cindy Monroe.
Thank you, Marsha. I'm here to invite you to join the Iowa Retired School Personnel Association. And as I look out at all these tables and see so many people I know, I think you'll enjoy it. I do need to tell you, though, if you don't know me, be selective in what you believe about what anyone at your table says about me, please. The Cedar Rapids branch meets weekly at the Long Branch, and you'll probably find that we're a very social group, just as noisy as you are here. There are a couple of things, though, that are important about our group that I want you to know. First of all, this group, our group, is a very strong and vocal advocate for your IPERS money, because there are times that our leaders in Des Moines think that money could go elsewhere. And it requires work to keep that money in IPERS. So that advocacy is very, very important. Secondly, believe it or not, a lot of people continue their Delta Dental through our state organization, which we have people that join our organization just so they can do that. On your tables, you have this sort of bookmarky looking thing that has all the dates of our next meetings. And I have more that I'll put on the table outside. Take that with you. There's also a little green card. One of the beauties of retiring is that you lose track of time. So if you want us to email or call you about our first meeting in the fall, we'll do that. We'd be happy to do that. It was interesting that you've already been asked to volunteer with the district, because I'm going to tell you, one of the first things you want to do is learn to say no. Now the reason is that all the skills that you have practiced are the very skills that every volunteer organization wants, and they can hardly wait to have you join them. So learn to say no. Except to the Cedar Rapids School District, and maybe the Friends of the Public Library, and maybe, on and on. But I do thank you for this opportunity. I'll have some applications. We're a cheap organization, $16 a year for the state. Your first year at the local level is free, $6. But I'll have applications out on the table as you leave. So thank you very much.
Now we know that you all want to cheer for everyone, but let's save all of that to the end so that we can applaud once. All right, but since you're first, right? All right, so we're going to congratulate each of our retiring employees, starting with Deborah Aldrich. Now you go. It's safe to go now. Linda Anderson. Randy Atkinson. Elaine Bangs. Alphabetical. Gail Berry. David Bird. Marlis Bitterman. Jane Brookhammer. Nancy Cole. Ellen Day Williams. Rebecca Dickinson. Judy Dye. Ann Elmore. Catherine Fielder. Crystal Fisher. Vicki Fritz. Pam Garrity. Denise Harriman.
Just right in there. Just make sure you get the right certificate.
Randy Heaton. Donna Hoagland. Sally Immerfall. Karen James. Paul James. Deborah Johnson. Patricia Cadlett. Kevin Carr. Darlene Kettleson. Patty Kuchera. Ginger Larson. Lori Law. Sheila Lehman. Brian Litz. Kathleen Long. Tracy Maxted. Barb McCuskey. Diana Mears. Linda Nielsen. Lynn O'Connor. Jan Perkins. Susan Preston. Mary Pruden. Kathy Reynolds. Patty Rinderneck. Patricia Rooney. Diana Ross. Natalie Roston. Cindy Rudish. Julia Russell. Judy Schenkelberg. Sue Servicek. The Jefferson alumni have messed up the certificates. Everyone look and make sure they have the right one. There may be some training necessary. Who was left? Judy Schinkelberg, Sue Servicek, Susan Scholl-Shear, Annette Sankoff, Linda Sampson, Annette Sankoff, Mary Stanley, Margot Stewart, Terry Trickey, Sharon Varro, Mary Warwick, Brenda Wag, Donna White, Carolyn Whelan, Wendy Ziegler. Let's congratulate all of our retiring employees from 2015-16. Thank you all again for your devoted service to the Cedar Rapids Community Schools. Thank you all for being educators. Congratulations on your retirement, and have a wonderful rest of the day and a fabulous weekend. Thanks for joining us.